Who are the Windrush generation and why are they facing problems? A question that is being asked by many Jamaicans today. Now, let's talk about this issue. Let's talk about this scandal. Let's talk about the reason why Honorable Andrew Holness, Prime Minister of Jamaica, has been dealing with this issue in the UK. At this time, we do want to thank our Instagram followers from Brand Jamaica 876, or if you're listening from our YouTube channel at 658 Jamaican. Now let's talk about this burning issue. Who are the Windrush? A question being asked today by many Jamaican citizens, not only here in Jamaica, but all over the world. Now, I don't know if many of you can recall, but those that arrived in the UK between the year 1948 and 1971 from the Caribbean countries as being labeled as the Windrush generation. This is a reference to a ship MV Empire Windrush, which arrived at Tilbury Docks, Esac on the 22nd of June 1948, bringing workers from Jamaica, Trinidad and Tobago, and other islands as a response to the post-war labor shortage in the UK. Now, the ship carried approximately 492 passengers, many of them children. It is unclear how many people belong to the Windrush generation, since many of those who arrived as children traveled on their parents' passport and never applied for travel documents, but they're said to be in their thousands. There are now more than 500,000 people residents in the UK who were born in a Commonwealth country and arrived before the 1971 saga, including the Windrush arrivals, according to estimate by the Oxford University Migration Observatory. Now let's get back to one of the many reasons why Jamaican Prime Minister Honorable Andrew Holness is now visiting the UK to address this scandal, and of course the Prime Minister of the UK, Theresa May, has apologized to the Caribbean leaders over the Windrush generation controversy at a Downing Street meeting. She said she was genuinely sorry about the anxiety caused by the Home Office treating the children of the Commonwealth citizen with deportation. The UK government valued the contribution they had made and said they had the right to stay in the UK. It came amid report some are still facing deportation. We now listen to a clip from Good Morning Britain.
Of immigration documents that recorded arrival date of the Windrush generation migrants and could have proven their right to remain in the UK.
Well, Labour say the revelation that the landing cards were disposed of was truly shocking, and heads must roll at the Home Office over the scandal, which has resulted in people who've lived in the UK for decades being threatened with deportation.
Well, joining us now, we're very honoured to have him, is the Prime Minister of Jamaica, Andrew Holness. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Thank you very much for coming in. This is a complete and utter disgrace, isn't it? I mean, let's just not sugarcoat this.
It is, especially the new revelation about the destruction of documentary evidence, which could easily help to resolve some of the issues. But I prefer to look at the positive side of it.
What is the positive side of it?
The government reacted and apologized and has put in place or are putting in place measures.
But they don't. I mean, you asked the Prime Minister yesterday, and let's remind viewers. These documents, a lot of them were destroyed in 2010 when Theresa May was the Home Secretary. Happened on her watch, right? So when she apologises, that's fine. But actually, she was the catalyst for all this, I'm afraid. Let's cut to the quick. When you asked her yesterday, have people been deported? She didn't know, did she?
Well, they weren't able to provide a definitive answer, but they have undertaken to give that definitive answer. My interest is to ensure that the Windrush generation and the children of the Windrush generation get justice. We have to call it out for what it is, but we also have to ensure that those who have been deported, that they get access to a process that gets them back, that they get their citizenship, that they get their full rights, and that they get access to the benefits that their citizenship would entitle them.
And should they get full compensation? Any legal fees?
My view, clearly, I'm not the British government, but my view is that if there is an acceptance that a wrong was done, then there should be a process of restoration. And I'm certain that the very strong and robust civil society and democracy that you have will come up with a process of compensation.
Because people have been sacked.
Yes.
They've lost their right to work as
Yes.
a result, and they cannot claim
Yeah, but then
benefits.
it's a matter of the denial of the dignity of the citizenship, which really cannot be restored when you come to think of it. Yes, I agree totally.
People who have worked maybe in the NHS here for 30 years
Yes.
and then lose their jobs because they can't prove they're British anymore.
So ironic.
And then they can't even claim benefits because they can't prove they're
Yeah.
British. I mean,
I was
sickening.
particularly disturbed by the story of a Jamaican man who was unable to access the NHS and had cancer.
Yeah.
And that is what really drew my attention to this.
Were you
this man.
aware? I mean, were any of the leaders in the Caribbean fully aware of what was going on here in the last few months?
My awareness of it, I can't speak for the rest of the leaders in the Caribbean, but my awareness of it was really within the last 2 months when this story of the Jamaican man who was unable to get treatment for cancer came to light. And then I started to dig a little bit deeper into it. Our High Commissioners here in London started to have meetings about it, and the interest in it grew.
The Cabinet Office Minister, David Lidington.
And there you have it, the Prime Minister of Jamaica, Honorable Andrew Holness, addressing the Windrush generation scandal in the UK. Theresa May, the Prime Minister of the UK, apologized to the Caribbean leaders over the Windrush generation. Please join us for more, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment down below.